All right, we are live.
I see it. Oh, it's gone now.
Hello everybody who is tuning in. We are glad that you're here and glad that you're spending your Friday evening with us. My friend Ken Gaines is here joining me, and I am super excited to have him. If you have never heard Ken before, then you probably don't live in Houston, and or you haven't lived here long, um, or you live under a rock. That's kind of
That's my goal anyway.
um, so, how about while we're waiting for people to hop on, why don't you just give us like give us a short bio, like who you are, what you do, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm a longtime singer songwriter. I've been doing this professionally now for over 50 years. I don't sing any of those songs that I wrote 50 years ago because they're not very good. But I've taken the time to get better. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been living in the Houston area now for 26, 27 years, and I've been very active with the Houston music scene, singer-songwriter scene, and 21 of those years I co-produced a songwriter series at Anderson Fair, which is something that is going to continue on one level or another. And Anderson Fair is Houston's oldest and best acoustic listening room. It's been around since 1970. Also, since I've been in Texas, I've been very active with the Kerrville Music Festival, Kerrville Folk Festival. This year would have been year 31 for me. Still waiting to see. We got postponed for the summer. We're looking to see if we're going to be able to do it in October. I certainly hope so, but I'm going to do it if it's safe to do it. And in the process of being involved with Kerrville, I've not only played the stage a number of times, but for the past 10 years, I got involved with teaching for the Kerrville Music Camp for teens. And that is regularly the best thing I do every year. Once again, we're trying to figure out how we're going to do it this year. But you can find all those things that I've been talking about, both just Google Kerrville Folk Festival. It'll get you there. And if Anderson Fair is andersonfair.net, since we redesigned the website. But those are the primary things I've been involved in. I've played all over the country, except for the past 4 months, and I love it. I love the drive. I love the different audiences. My goal in life is not only to be locally known here in Houston, but locally known everywhere. So
Yeah.
that's sort of my goal, and it's fun. I still love it. It's frustrating as it can be, and as hard as it can be on you physically and mentally. I still just absolutely love it. So that's me.
Well,
I can pause for a sip of wine.
I love hearing all your songs every time, and I'm probably going to mute myself so I can sing along without ruining the show.
Yeah, that little lag thing when
Yeah.
you learn that takes a little getting used to. So
Um, I'm going to just say hi to a few people who've showed up. Hey, Bob Simpson, you know Bob.
I do.
And Larry King and Paul, my husband Paul, which you know, whom you know. Dan Fritz says hi.
Hey, Dan.
And Elizabeth Zock, who's my mom, she's watching. So that's fun, from Austin. And Paul asked, where are you originally from?
I grew up in a military family. I was born, believe it or not, in Bowling Air Force Base in Washington D.C.
Oh wow!
And in that part of my life, I moved almost every couple of years and went to school all over the country and abroad. And I learned to travel, and I learned to love it. So that's where I'm from. My parents were from southern Mississippi, and some of my Biloxi, and some of my songs reflect that. But I'm home right here. This is my home. So
Nice.
right here in front of my computer.
Awesome. Well, how about we kick things off and
Okay.
How about you start us with a song?
Okay. Do you have a request before we go?
Ooh.
I know Paul has a request, but I'll do that later. So he doesn't kick my butt if I don't sing it. But
so I mean, the one I would request you might want to do later too, because I don't know.
okay,
But,
I'll do something. I'll start off with something goofy.
Okay. I will definitely tell you my request.
Okay, here's a new song. Gotta get a little messy to get the most out of life. Whether making love or cooking up a barbecue, gotta lick your lips, lick hers too. To get the most out of life, you gotta get it all over you. Gotta go outside, break a sweat, walk barefoot, get your feet wet. Gotta smell the rain and the bacon and the coffee brewing. Gotta stub your toes, skin your knees, lose your way, lose your keys. Gotta taste your tears and the tears of your loved ones too. Gotta get a little messy, get the most out of life. Whether making love or cooking up a barbecue, gotta lick your lips, you can lick mine too. To get the most out of life, gotta get it all over you. Gotta fall in love more than once. Gotta bust your ass more than twice. Gotta find a good friend, or two or three or four. Gotta hook a fine bass, 5 or 6 pounds or more. Then you give it a kiss, throw it back in the water. Take a picture if you can to let the world know you caught her. Sit on the bank, sip a beer, thank your lucky star you're still here. But don't forget to brush off your muddy butt before you get back into your truck. Oh man, that's messy. Ooh, I'll clean it out there later, baby. Gotta go fishing one more time first, you know what I mean? Gotta fall in love more than once. Gotta bust your ass more than twice. Gotta lose a good friend, or 2 or 3 or 4. Gotta miss that big old bass, 8 or 9 pounds or more. Gotta get a little messy to get the most out of life. Whether making love or cooking up a barbecue, gotta lick your fingers, lick hers too. Get the most out of life, get it all over you. You know what I'm saying? Get it all over you, yeah. That's right, smear it around a little bit. Get the most out of life, you gotta get it all over you. Boom, 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 boom. So that's a thank you. That's a quarantine song. I wrote that during this time period, and it's a very anti social distancing song. But I was inspired by Molly Ivins. If any Molly Ivins fans out there, and I remember reading in one of her writings somewhere in there, says most of the good things in life are a little messy, like sex and barbecue. So that's what got me going. And I was studying Roger Miller, his songs at the time. So that's kind of musically where those ideas come from.
Very cool.
Thank you.
It reminds me actually of the song that Bob Simpson requested, which is Hot Buttered Muffins.
We'll see. We'll see how deep we can dig it.
All right, so I think we'll just kind of go back and forth like a regular writer's round. And I'm noticing that it just keeps getting darker and darker in the room that I'm in. So at some point I might, I don't know, light a candle or something to brighten up the light a little bit. I'll try to do it before I completely disappear into nothingness. So I'm gonna do Commitment Down, because I think it's one of the very first of my songs that I ever sang for you, I think. I know how you pair your shirts and ties. You know which coffee creamer I buy. The bed knows where we lay. It's never seen a lonely night. And when the day ends, we're not there to turn off the lights. But we never kiss anymore. Our eyes don't smile anymore. We can spend together forever and never mess around. We'll never cheat, we'll never leave. Till death parts us, we believe. Oh, we're just strangers who've got commitment down. We vow to stick it through, rich or poor. In health and sickness, we have stayed the course. Our rings are tattooed in flesh, so they'll never be replaced. We won't invite caress from an unknown face, but we never kiss anymore. Our eyes don't smile anymore. We can spend together forever and never mess around. We'll never cheat, we'll never leave. Till death parts us, we believe. Oh, we're just strangers who've got commitment down. Oh, can we stay this way? We've both got passion, we say. It's time to lock the door, 'cause we both want much more. Maybe we should kiss some more. Our eyes would smile some more. We could spend together forever and turn this thing around. We'll never cheat, we'll never leave. Till death parts us, we believe. Oh, let's be lovers who've got commitment down.
I do indeed remember that one. When it was just, you're just getting going on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Some other people have said, well, hello, let me go back here a little bit. Hey, Roger from Illinois, and Tim from Dallas, and hello, Jason. Jason sings that we should just sing darker and darker songs, the darker and darker it gets.
I'm here trying to figure out my lighting and stuff like this. I still haven't figured. That's one I haven't figured out yet. And you can tell it's kind of windy in here. No, I've got my little drapery behind me. So
Yeah.
keeping the fans on me.
Well, I say let's keep going with some songs.
Okay, all right. I'm going to do something totally different than that last one.
My request, whenever you want to get to it, is Catfish Moon.
Is what now?
Catfish Moon.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do a sweet one here. When I wrote this song, it was during a period of realization that they're my songs, so I really can put anything I want to them, and that's there's real freedom in that, especially if you do. This is what I call one of those list songs. I have a number of them. I never quite got over Woodstock or November '63. And the things I learned at 21 put a big old hole in me. I never worried much about the bomb. Not a whole lot I could do. I'll never get over losing Mom. And I'll never get over you. Never quite forget Lee Remick's eyes. Baby, the rain must fall. And I'll never forget my baby's cry and the pain I caused them all. I'll never stop wanting a lover's touch and all the things that lovers do. Never stop having to feel so. I'll never get over you. Some say that nothing lasts forever. I don't believe it's true. Love's the one thing that will never disappear from you. We become the love we keep alive after everything is through. So the only way I will survive is to never get over you. And I never stop loving this old guitar and all the things it got me through. I'll never stop being a wandering star. Never get over you. No, I'll never get over you. I know. A muted woohoo. And this is the old guitar I'm talking about. We've been together coming up on 52 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of stories, I bet.
Yep. Luckily, it doesn't speak English.
That's awesome. A few more people have joined us. Hello, Rachel. I think that I am. It's so hard to keep track of people who are here, but I just want to say thanks again for people joining us on your Friday night. You could do so many other things, so thanks for joining us. And that song was so sweet. It inspired me to go ahead and light a candle. So now I feel like I'm in the mood for an evening of songs, maybe dark songs. I'm going to take Jason's advice and sing a darker song, and hopefully make it through it with my I got a little bit of a cough thing going on, so hopefully I'll make it through it. She don't care anymore. Her coffee's looking kinda sad, mixed up with a whole lot of mad. He's tangled fingers with another hand, twisted hearts and screwed the whole damn plan. And she's left with papers. She got the ink ready to go. She don't care anymore. Who knows? She know it ain't her fault. She ain't ashamed, just angry as hell. He's tangled fingers with another hand, twisted hearts and screwed the whole damn plan. So she served him with papers. Unwashed hair falls across a teary eye. It ain't the heartache or fear of being lonely. Her fists pound the table. She stares up high. She's heated, steamed up, but she's holy. Left with papers. All she left him was papers. He's tangled fingers with another hand, twisted hearts that screw the whole damn
unmuted. Woohoo! And it's great how we train ourselves to do the mute thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not normally what I like to do. Oh, so where do you? Can I ask you questions?
Sure.
Where do I mean? Lyrics generally fascinate me less with people, because we're a reading culture. But I wonder where you came. Okay, do you have any ideas of where you came up with the melodic idea for that last song?
Well, I wrote it on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
So, where that came from, I'm not so sure. I mean,
Okay.
I sat down at the piano and was, playing through some chords and.
Right, and were you writing melody? I mean, piano's a lot more intuitive as far as attaching melody to chords because your melody's over there in your right hand, and I think, although I don't write on a piano, I think melody took a real hit when people started writing songs on a guitar. I mean, other things started coming forward, but so do you, in the process of that, are you messing around with melody ideas in the chords, or are you just chording like I do on a guitar?
I'm just chording on the piano
Nope.
because I'm not that good of a piano player. So, but yeah, I mean, I think the melody oftentimes, that's what's going through my brain, where I want the melody to go sometimes will influence the chord structure underneath versus the chord structure first and then finding a melody over it. I mean, both ways I think I've done it. For Papers, I think it was definitely I knew I wanted something that was a little bit more, I knew I wanted something sad and I wanted something bluesy, and it comes through a lot better on a piano, obviously, but I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I just wonder. I mean, I don't even know if there's a definite answer. I mean, I know how I come about working on song ideas, as far as some of them are definitely originally melody driven or musically driven. Like the first song I sang, I truly was thinking about Roger Miller and the way he stacked his funny little melodies together, and then he really stacked odd little lyrics in there. So I was really thinking about him. And then that last one was very lyrically driven, and it was, I mean, it's almost like, the first line I wrote in that song was the first line of the song, which is not always the case. And how would I sing this line? Never quite got over Woodstock, and then went from there. And so it was driven by that idea. I just wonder. I gotta wonder.
It's fun to talk about that stuff too. Like, it's not too often that we're even forced to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're just like in it, you're doing it, and it's like, oh wait, yeah, what was I thinking when I did that, or what,
Yeah, well, there's a point at it. Getting good at it, you have to be almost you go after and study things, and then you have to sort of consciously forget what you've learned. Yes. So that you can apply it with some freedom, but still, I wonder. So I'm going to do this one for Paul. This one was definitely character driven. All right, this is how would this guy sing? And if you want to picture this guy, I don't know, are you familiar with the artist R. Crumb?
I'm not, but tell me about it, because I'm teaching art, so I need to know these things.
Well, he was basically an illustrator, but he did a lot of cartoons and stuff like that. But he did a lot of he was kind of in the transition period of going from the beatniks to the hippies, okay, and he kind of stuck around there in the beatniks. In fact, the Big Brother and the Holding Company, and Janis Joplin's Cheap Thrills album. If you know what that looks like, all those cartoons are R. Crumb. All those are R. Crumb figures. But this is one that just stuck with me, and it's like he's got one that's called "Keep On Truckin'," and he's got this guy with sunglasses on, and this is how I thought this guy would sing a song. Here come old Razzmatazz. He don't like nothing but jazz. Always saying things like, yeah, crazy. He snapped his finger bones. He play air slide trombone. His eyes are deep and dark and hazy. Razzmatazz, they call him Razzmatazz. The only name he has, he dress real sweet. It don't swing, he don't sing, cause I gotta have a beat. Ah, chicka papa Razzmatazz. Raz walking around with sunglasses singing. Slim by the wing on a Joseph way. Boom, shake a leg, boom, 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 bow. Wow, that rhymes with wow, wow, and that rhymes with how. Here come old Razzmatazz. He don't like nothing but jazz. Girlfriend's name is Bebop Daisy. He go his way alone. He ain't got no telephone. Always saying things like, yeah, crazy. Razzmatazz, they call him Razzmatazz. The only name he has, he got big feet. If it don't swing, don't mean a thing. Gotta have a papa-tune Razzmatazz. Upper register Raz, you can do it. They call him Razzmatazz. He hails from Alcatraz. He don't eat meat. If it don't swing, it don't ring a ding, ding a ding. Gotta have a Razzmatazz. Gotta have a boom chicka Razzmatazz. And I gotta have a do wagga-doo wagga-doo. Raz walk around saying things like, you know, life is like a coupe. You know, you can get a red one, you get a blue one, green one, purple one, orange one. It don't matter. Nah, man, it's all coupe. And I gotta have a beat. Yeah, crazy. And that's the short sanitized version of that.
I don't know if you can see the comments, but Paul left a yes.
No, actually I can't. I don't know where they are, so that's all right.
Oh, that's a classic Ken Gaines, most requested by my husband song. So that conversation about melodies and studying other people's, chord progressions and melodies and that kind of thing made me think about a song that was inspired for me by Willie Nelson, and the way that his chord structures and the way he like lyrically will cram words in, and I don't know that I quite do that in this song, but I love how he does it. It's still something I want to try to do at some point, but another night without you by my side, another dream playing our love song, another morning I'm gonna cry another tear 'cause I did you wrong. And oh, I miss the sound of your voice sing, but all I can hear are my tears falling. Another night I'm gonna hum to myself to drown out the tune of you saying goodbye. And oh, I miss the sound of your voice sing, but all I can hear are my tears falling. Another night I'm gonna hum to myself to drown out the tune of you saying goodbye. Another night I'm gonna hum to myself to drown out the tune of you saying goodbye.
As Judy Mood would say, yay! Yeah, that's in line with that type of writing.
So tell us a little bit about, I mean, you mentioned it earlier about Anderson Fair, and I can't remember what you mentioned live and what you mentioned just to me about kind of some of the future things Anderson Fair's working on.
Yeah. Our manager at Anderson Fair, Tim Leatherwood, has been developing a series now, and we've got another one coming up. Man, it's just escaping my mind. I just read it before I got on here. But about once a week, Tim has been having a concert, streamed concert for the most part. There are a few people in there to give the audience a feel of the audience. But they are being streamed from the Anderson Fair stage. And Tim's a video and audio engineer. So anything he's going to do, he's going to put out, it's going to be of high quality. So that's what he's done. He's really spent a lot of money on putting together a audio video setup for the stage there at Anderson Fair. Wayne and I did one along with Amanda Pascali a week ago Thursday. And they're being streamed live as they're done, and you can find those things at andersonfair.net, and they'll let you know when they're doing them. And then sometime in the future, Tim is basically developing an Anderson Fair channel so that these episodes that he's recording right now will be edited and then streamed in a schedule. Along with some other things. He's got all kind of plans, but they're really, really very high quality. So I'm excited about what's coming up there. It's the next best thing to doing a live show there at Anderson Fair. That is, as far as sound goes, sitting on that stage and playing into that room is still the best sound situation, live sound situation I've ever dealt with, and I've gotten to deal with it for a long time. So.
Yeah, you have. It's amazing, and I got to be on there right before quarantine with you.
Yeah.
Like I squeaked in there, and I got my chance to experience it. It's pretty.
That's right. Yeah, we did get you in there. Yeah. So, and I'm glad we did. Dang it. And depending upon what comes out the other end of all this, we'll work on doing it again. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay.
All right, you got another song for us?
I do. I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to do it in tune. This song was definitely musically driven, although I did have, I woke up one morning kind of singing the tagline at the end of it. But there were a couple other things I wanted to do in this musically. I realized they would fit, and that was musically what I was thinking. There's a melody line that I've been whistling for decades. Okay. And that's not the easiest melody line to fit lyrics to. So I realized I could do that with this song. And it's also, I think, the first song I did a particular type of ending where you normally go to the tonic. And in this case, it would be the major tonic, the one chord. I would work down a little minor fall all the way down to where you get to the tonic. So those are the musical things I had in mind when I was doing this song. Sunset on the river, water's all aglow. Been sitting on this bank all day, watching it flow. I got a line out in the channel, I stopped fishing long ago. I'm just sitting, sipping whiskey real slow. There's a gator on the surface, big old catfish in his mouth. As he takes it to the bottom, my heart is sinking south and drag me down where I don't want to go. Oh, how could she leave me so low? It's been a catfish morning, catfish afternoon. Tonight there be a catfish moon. Catfish moon, waltzing on the water. Catfish moon, lazy little daughter of the sun, who's always rolling round too soon. Catfish moon, waltzing on the water. Catfish moon, lazy little daughter of the sun, who's always rolling around too soon. Funny how my rambling brought me right back to the spot where the fishing and the whiskey and the wind was so damn hot. We'd take the boat out on the river, throw a blanket on the bow, and make love beneath the catfish moon. Catfish moon, waltzing on the water. Catfish moon, lazy little daughter of the sun, who's always rolling around too soon. It's been a catfish morning, a catfish afternoon. Tonight there'll be a catfish moon.
I had myself muted because I was singing along. I don't know if you remember when we were on the radio together with Rourke, and you sang that song and asked me to sing harmony with you, like live on the air. And I remember going, oh, I don't want to screw his song up. I love this song so much. Don't screw it up, Angie. Don't screw it up, Angie. Don't screw it up, Angie.
I do. And I appreciate it. And I did, especially that chorus. That chorus is written to be sung with harmony. It's got, and that was intentional too with that song. That's probably the song I'm most pleased with all the way around. And I have to admit that there's a couple of moves in there that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't been sitting at the feet of Jack Williams for a number of years, and I've stolen just a few of his 16 million moves, but a couple of those are in that song, and I always appreciate Jack.
That's awesome. I thank you for doing my request.
You bet. My pleasure. And I heard you singing in my mind.
Good. I was singing loud. I'm sure the rest of the house was like, what is she doing? I'm going to sing it's not necessarily new to me, but it's newer because I'm working on trying to record it and get a cool arrangement, which I've been trying to work on during this quarantine, like taking my songs, but then, getting a little bit more creative in arrangements instead of just like me and ukulele or me and the guys. And so I'm kind of excited about where this one's going. Um, it's hard for me, though, to explain all the arrangement parts because it's still just me and a ukulele singing singing it live. But it's kind of a love song. It is. It's a colorful thing, this thing we got going, with two tarnished rings and a few dishes broken. Somehow the years drown out the days. Somehow the tears keep fading away. 'Cause I still love you, and I would do most anything to keep you from more suffering. 'Cause I still love you. Purples and blues paint the shadows still illumined, yet passionate hues make the dark room see. Somehow the truth drowns out the lies. Somehow our youth got better with time, and I still love you, and I would do most anything to keep you from more suffering. 'Cause I still love you. And I would do most anything to keep you from more suffering. 'Cause I still love you.
Woohoo! Well, I'm not only learning your songs, I'm learning to anticipate kind of the way you end things too. So it's like, here it comes. Yeah, that's how she does that. I can't help myself. So, I mean, you just kind of showed up a couple of years ago, and I know you're a mom and you got a family and the whole bit, but you've obviously been working on these things for quite some time in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've always been singing. My parents got me involved singing at a very young age. And then all through elementary school and middle school and high school, was singing in choirs and taking lessons and doing the thing, and in college too. And then, yeah, I mean, I got married right after college, 2 weeks after graduation. So I would say during that whole time, I mean, I've been singing in church and stuff, but probably a closet songwriter, So, yeah, I mean, I think to what we were talking about earlier, studying and listening a lot,
Yeah.
Figuring out what I like and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What moves me.
So you're making yourself.
Yeah.
Becoming yourself. How much time do we have?
We have as much time as we want. How about you do one, I'll do one, and then you close us out.
Okay, that works for me.
All right.
I'll do another new one. Could have been a trick of the light. Maybe just the time of night. I thought I saw your face. You were looking back at me, eyes smiling tenderly like a warm embrace. But I heard you call my name, like an old familiar flame. I caught my breath and cried out loud. Then the moon came out from behind a cloud. No one there. Oh, first time I laid eyes on you, I swear I could see right through time and space. Another sun in another sky, another love and another life in another place. Then I heard you call my name, like a moth drawn to a flame. The days were sweet, the nights were long, but one day waking in the dawn, no one there. I hear your voice out on the wind. I hear you whispering within my dream. I see your face in every crowd, in every shadow, every cloud. No one there. No one there.
That's a new, like, during quarantine song?
So what is it? What now? It's a quarantine. Yeah, that's a
A
quarantine
quarantine.
song. I mean, I had the musical idea for quite some time, and then kind of matched it. I always wanted a song with whispers in it, and with just space. And every once in a while, I like to throw space in. So I thought I would give a little extra anticipated space in there. So I don't know. Does it work?
It works. I think it works.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, for my last song, I'm going to do a cover because I don't normally do covers, but during quarantine, I've challenged myself to learn some songs. So, and in all of our talking about, songs that we study, this is one that I have been studying too, not just learning, but studying. Dance me to your beauty with a burning violin. Dance me through the panic till I'm gathered safely in. Lift me like an olive branch and be my homeward dove. Dance me to the end of love. Dance me to the end of love. Dance me, see your beauty when the witnesses are gone. Let me feel you moving like they do in Babylon. Show me slowly what I only know the limits of. Dance me to the end of love. Oh, dance me to the end of love. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, dance me to the
Ah, okay. Well, then I'll end with a cover. About.
Awesome. And
Okay.
before you start, I just want to make sure that everybody sees your PayPal account down there at the bottom. And please support Ken. He is normally.
And Angie.
Yes, but you are normally on the road and, touring and all of these things, and now have not been able to. So, support.
I appreciate it. No, I'll take all the help I can get. I really, really will. I do. And thanks to Dan and Celeste Fritz, they already found it. So.
Oh, nice.
Already got a notice on that one. So I'll take all those notices I can get too. But yeah, it's paypal.me/Ken Gaines Music. So I appreciate it. So in studying this kind of music, I got a couple of songs out of it. This is a form that was very popular back in the 20s and 30s in American jazz music, and this particular song, the music was written by Thomas Fats Waller, who was just an amazing, crazy performer and personality. He was pretty unstoppable until he stopped. And his most successful collaborator, because Fats didn't write lyrics much at all, but he collaborated with a number of lyricists, which is the way things worked back then. This is 1929, I think, 27 maybe. Anyway, his most successful collaborator was a man who had been born in Madagascar and then moved to the States. And his name was, it's even hard for me to pronounce. I used to fake it, but I can't pronounce his name in Madagascar. But by the time he got on to New York and started writing songs and writing down his whole name and saying, song by Andrea de la Rezav Kierko, they're like, no, man, you can't do that. No, Andy Razov. So he was Andy Razov from that point on. But Andy was an incredible guy because he I think originally his original language was Madagascar, but then it was also French was part of that culture as well. So he spoke French, but then all of his songs he adapted to English as his songwriting language, and he did it real well. See, that kind of thing that fascinates me. I wouldn't have. The only other language I know halfway would be German, and I have no idea how to write a song in German. I just wouldn't. But this is a song, one of the songs that they're known best for. Better. No one to walk with, all by myself. No one to talk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. Hey, misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's just you I'm thinking of. Hey, misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, I don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. Believe me, I don't stay out late. I got nowhere to go. I'm home about it, just me and my radio. And misbehaving, I'm saving saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, I don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. You believe me? Oh, believe me. I don't go out late, got nowhere to go. I'm home about it, just me and my radio. And misbehaving, I'm saving my love. And misbehaving, I'm saving my love. And misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Thomas Fatzwaller and Andy Rezoff. 1927 now that I think about it.
That's perfect ending.
Thank you.
So thanks again, everybody, for coming and tuning in, and thanks, Ken, for joining me and sharing.
It's my pleasure, Angie. Who have you got next coming up?
Next week is Brian Kalanick.
I know that guy.
You know that guy.
Yeah, that'll be well worth your while. You can tell him I said that. Then he owes me a favor.
Well, I'll tell him that you get half his tips.
Okay. Thank you, Angie. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, my best to Paul and the girls, too.
Oh, thank you so much. And everybody, we'll see y'all next week.